Hey, what up? This is Chris, and in this video, I'm gonna talk about this book that I just read called The War of Art. Now, basically, this book goes over resistance to doing things that you know would take you to that next level, but you're just not doing it. Like, you have that project that you should be working on, or you're watching TV, or you're watching this YouTube video right now. You know you should go train, but maybe you're a little too tired, or you really have to do those dishes, or whatever the hell it is. Now, I was thinking about this within my own life and why I have felt this resistance personally. So I train and teach martial arts pretty much 7 days a week, and it's crazy, like, going from being a student at this studio to a teacher. There's so many mental shifts that you need to go through. Like, when I first started, I could show up and just train. I was having an off day, like, boom, like, fuck it, I'm about to go kill it in the gym, and I'm about to go get a sick workout in. Sick workout, bro. And go roll and hit pads and do all of that. And then I became a teacher, an instructor there, and there is so much more resistance to go train now. And I really started thinking about this past several weeks, because it's really been like getting to me a little bit. It's been kind of heavy, and I've been avoiding this topic for a while and actually confronting it. And I feel like, well, I know from experience, you no longer can walk into a place when you're teaching and being a student there. That's what's so different about this next level paradigm. You realize that you walk in, and even if you're having a bad day, like, there might be people that you need to help, or people that have questions, or someone that just wants to have a conversation with you, and maybe you don't always want to engage in conversation. Maybe you just kind of want to show up and do your thing and then leave, like you used to do in the past. But it's very interesting to note when you become a higher level, you become a stronger person, both on and off the mat, and people recognize this. And it's what's like difficult about this is knowing what your role is and showing up and doing it. Like, for me, I don't think it's really teaching so much anymore. Like, before, it was a mental shock every time that I stepped on the mat to teach. I had to confront so many insecurities, and it was sometimes unbearable. Like, I just felt like I was mentally collapsing. That's how I describe it. And it just, like, it wouldn't stop. It was like week after week after week. I just felt so challenged by this. And then I'm like, boom, like, okay, I got teaching down to a certain extent. I mean, there's days where, you're feeling a little off, or you're feeling a little shaky, and you power through that somehow. But now it's more along the lines of keeping your training to a certain level and going through that resistance, going through the thing that will take you to the next level, and remembering why you did it. I think it's so important to remember why you were so passionate about it in the first place. It wasn't teaching that I was super passionate about, which I am now, but what I was passionate about was fighting, learning how to fight, becoming a really strong fighter, knowing everything that there is to know in terms of psychology and movement and breathing and flexibility, which I'm really still working on right now. It's not all quite there just yet, but it's interesting, man. Like, going through this resistance, going through certain mental blocks or paradigm shifts that feel like heart-wrenching in some points of your life. And it's crazy because right before I hopped in the cold plunge this morning, I cold plunged at like 5 or 6 a.m. I noticed that like I was stalling like as much as I possibly could, and I would do things like, oh, these dishes need to be washed, or let's see, maybe I could like watch a motivational video before I hop in that cold plunge. Let's see, I gotta pick up some things around my room before I go in there. And then I'm just like, dude, hop in the fucking cold plunge. Just hop in. I think what's difficult too, when you are at that resistance phase, where you are at that resistant phase, like your mind is trying to like stop you and block you from doing whatever you are doing, is having a good reference point for what comes after it. I know that when I get out of the cold plunge, I feel euphoric. I feel very almost high. I feel like I can do things effortlessly. But during the process, I'm just like, dude, like, why are you doing this? This is terrible. Like, stop. Like, go back. Get out. Like, get in front of the heater. You know what I mean? And I need to put some chapstick on. Oh, my goodness. Lips are super chapped. Anyways, so I'm in the cold plunge, and it's crazy how, like, while I was in that cold plunge, I'm like, dude, this is exactly how your resistance is. It seems so unbearable at the moment. It seems so just like heavy and dense. But then when you go through that resistance, you get out on the other side, there is a euphoric feeling. There is a feeling of like, wow, I got some shit done today. Like, I got some good work done today. And I think with the opposite of that, when you succumb to resistance, when you give in to resistance, you feel like shit. You feel like just a lazy mofo, like you didn't get really too much done. You didn't get everything that you wanted to get done. It's not even like really checking off all these little boxes throughout the day. It's doing the meaningful work as much as you possibly can do it. Like, giving yourself fully to whatever you're doing for whatever amount of time. And I'm pretty much going to end it there. Like, I noticed a lot of resistance these past several weeks with getting in and training and just teaching a lot more and really trying to figure out my balance. Like, I'm making these videos and they're very much helping me. In a way, this is like kind of like another resistance type of thing that I'm going through right now, creating this YouTube channel, trying to make this thing happen, create these videos. And the reason why I make these videos is because it helps me out with my public speaking. It helps me out with getting through a resistant type phase. It gets me to the next level in terms of teaching and public speaking and being more witty and on top of my wording and how I formulate my sentences. I think if you could see what's on the other side of that resistance and how you feel, and really knowing what happens if you succumb to the resistance, if you give in, how that's going to make you feel like a piece of shit, or you get on the other side of that and you feel like a decent person. You feel like you put in work that day. You feel like you got some cool shit done. I'm going to end it there. See ya.